Hello and welcome to this very special Masters edition of Tour Confidential on Golf.com. I'm Jessica Marksbury, joined today by very esteemed guests, golf contributor Josh Sens and Sports Illustrated's John Garrity. Welcome, guys. It is Masters Week. We couldn't be more excited for what's to come, but we have to start things off by talking about some of our favorite traditions as media members. Could be on the course, could be away from the course. John, I want to start with you. What are you most looking forward to this week?
Saturday night at T-Bones. I don't know how far, sometime back in the 90s, I wrote a story about nightlife during Masters Week. And I was sort of playing the Dan Jenkins role as the bon vivant who went around and entertained everybody and picked up tabs, and mostly newspaper writers and the sports columnists. And it became a tradition. And so every Saturday night, late, around 10 o'clock when all the guys have made their deadlines, we get together over at T-Bones, and Mark Cummins just rolls us right into a table, a power table that's been set up for us, and it's absolute bedlam in there, you know, noisy and crowded, and it just couldn't be more fun. And we don't close the place because it goes on forever, but it's become a hallowed tradition.
Well, you know what I love about your tradition, John, is that you're not cliquey, because you invite people to be a part of this. I've been to a couple of those dinners over the years. Lots of our colleagues have been there as well. You're all-encompassing when it comes to golf media.
That's true, but I don't pick up the check anymore. We go Dutch.
I was going to say, when he said picking up tabs, he's dating himself. That's another era in the media, right?
What do you think, Josh? What's one of your favorite things about Masters
Well, I mean,
Week?
for starters, making my kids speak in whispers for the entire weekend. The house is finally quiet. I like going around Augusta itself, beyond the National. As people often hear, the surroundings are very different from the club itself, and you really get a sense of those contrasts. There's a great old statue of James Brown, local born and raised James Brown downtown. There's a great history museum walking along the river, and you see that there's this entire life that exists outside this sort of bell jar, this sort of idyllic hideaway that the tournament itself is. And that's always fun to see, the life that goes on outside the gates.
Something that I got really excited about a couple years ago was visiting downtown Augusta. It's so close, great kind of culinary scene, lots of fun bars and restaurants, and yet nobody seems to want to venture away from they want to stay in that kind of half-a-mile bubble right there next to Augusta National, but it's, well worth it to head downtown.
Yeah, it's quirky. Some of it's elevated, but a lot of it is unchanged over the years. You can find these local haunts and get a good meal for under $10 and a couple beers and hang out with the locals and soak up the buzz.
I love how a lot of these traditions revolve around food. I would have to say my own is included in that. When I think about what I like to do on the weekends, get a couple colleagues, go on a Saturday or a Sunday, have breakfast in the clubhouse. It's a super cool perk if you're a media member. You can just go in there. It's kind of, small setting, just a few tables. You can get the famous cobbler there at Augusta National.
Ooh,
What's better? A tradition unlike any other for the three of us, and we'll be looking forward to seeing the tradition unlike any other at Augusta National this week. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Tour Confidential on Golf.com. We'll see you right back here after the Masters.